I want to build a treehouse, but not any ordinary treehouse. You see, making custom trees in this game isn't really my forte. I don't find it that enjoyable meticulously placing in a bunch of blocks to create a tree that looks natural and realistic. Thankfully, I've had an idea of something else we could do. So hello everybody, my name is Marlo and today we are going to be building a ginormous treehouse. It should look a little bit like this one I'm stood next to, except a lot bigger. So my idea is to create an upscaled version of the oh so familiar vanilla oak tree. So the idea is for each of these individual blocks you can see right here, we are going to place down 8 of the same type. So for some scale, this is just one ordinary oak block. The oak block I'm going to be making for my treehouse is this big. It's a little bit larger, I would say. So hopefully you get the idea. One of these blocks equals one of those blocks. So I just have to do that for all of the blocks you can see here in this tree. But thankfully I've got World Edit on my side, so it shouldn't take too long really. So once again, here is the tree that we're referencing. Quite small, I would say. And here is the mega tree. This thing is absolutely massive. I cannot quite wrap my head around the size of this thing. Just by being 8 times the size of this tree, we get this? Is that right? It doesn't seem right because this thing is blimmin' ginormous. I just kind of want to marvel at the absolute gargantuan size of this thing all day long, and I think that's what I'm going to do for a little while. Just kind of stare at it. Just kidding, I've done that enough already, but what I haven't done is take a look inside, because this is obviously all of the area that we have to build with. Yeah, I think I got enough room to do some cool stuff in here. So as you can see, it has cast quite the shadow on the ground below, and I don't think we're going to be able to completely eradicate that problem, but something we can do that will most certainly help is by placing a bunch of lighting blocks just above this bottom leaf level. Well, it certainly has helped, but it's definitely not perfect. As you can see, the top half is bright as day, the bottom half, not so much, but I think we'll worry about that later on. I'm not even sure if there is anything we can actually do for this other than just a night vision potion. May be the best solution, but of course we're going to need some sort of entranceway here at the bottom and we'll make this look a bit nicer, but that should be a good size. And then I'm thinking we just have a staircase winding all the way along this trunk here up to the canopy above, and maybe along the way we can have a couple of windows and that sort of thing. That could honestly help with the lighting situation. Probably not going to make it that bright though. It is very dark down here. So here's our staircase. It only takes approximately 8 to 9 seconds to get all the way to the top, so not too bad. We could always build some sort of bubble vator maybe in the middle here, but I think instead we're just going to make this into a water drop, so getting down will be much quicker and we won't worry as much about getting up. But I think for the entrance we're simply just going to kind of line it with some spruce trapdoors and spruce stairs on the corners just to improve the look of it a little bit. Something like that. Yeah, kind of just looks like a hollowed out part of the tree. And then I'm thinking maybe every now and again, possibly 1 or 2 of these on each of the sides. Let's just take over here as an example. If we were to hollow out a space like even just this, and then do a similar thing, so 2 stairs at the top and bottom, then with some trapdoors on the sides. If I could just get out of here, that'd be great. We get some small little windows. I'm not sure how that's going to look though. Either really weird or really cool. I guess the only way to know is to do a few more. Yeah, I'm not too sure. It kind of just looks like there's holes in the logs, which I'm not sure if I'm a fan of that. I'd admit it is pretty cool being able to see behind the log itself and the actual staircase, but I'm not really sure if it's the effect I'm going for. Maybe I'm going to leave it for a little while and see if it grows on me. I do really like the effect from the inside, that's for sure. Being able to see out as we go up the giant staircase is definitely a nice touch. And as you can see, I've also added up, or added down, maybe I should say, our water drop here at the bottom and just kind of transition the floor into the tree itself. Anyway, I think that's enough staircase action for now. I guess we should get started on the upper level here, which has so much room, and honestly, this is a little bit overwhelming because I genuinely have no idea where to start with this. I'm thinking we go around and add in some log pillar support. So say on the corner here, for an example, we kind of make this 2x2 pillar going all the way up, and then maybe have some horizontal beams going across and just try and make it so everything isn't leaves. I think that would be a good place to start. Alright, we've definitely got something going on here. I think that's the best way to explain it. A lot of oak logs have been placed down to create this grid formation, or oak woods actually, I've technically been using, but I've kind of just made all of these pillars and beams going across to separate the treehouse into some different sections. So we actually have 3 floors, obviously the bottom one here, we then have a middle floor as well as the top floor, and then they're also kind of like separated into different rooms, if you will. So my thinking with this is that we kind of turn each portion of the treehouse over here into a different element that would be helpful in survival. So a storage room, for example, maybe a super smelter over here, bedroom could go at the top, that sort of thing. I just have to think of what I'm gonna fill each of these with, because that's about the only 3 I've got at the moment. I may have gotten a little bit carried away and forgot to record anything, so a lot of progress has been made. As you can see here, I've pretty much just tried to make it look as though we're not just in a hollowed out tree, and instead we're in some sort of house or survival base, and I think we've got the best of both worlds there. Obviously, we can still tell we're in a tree because we can see the butt ton of oak leaves everywhere, and we can still see through to the outside a little bit, which I think is really quite nice. But I didn't want that effect everywhere. I basically just wanted it on the walls, so not the ceiling and not the floor. All of those have been covered up. And yes, I'm well aware this is quite a dull looking space, and I think that's fine because we're just using blocks that are wood, most of them from an oak tree itself with a little bit of spruce too, just so we have some sort of variation. But yeah, it's meant to be a tree house after all. It makes sense to use blocks from a tree. So you've seen the first floor here, which is going to hold most of what we build in this video, but I have decided to bring the staircase on up to the second floor, where we virtually have the same as the first floor, but on a smaller scale. As you can see, done out the ceilings, and I've done the floor as well, left the walls open, and we have this railing where you can actually look down onto the first floor. And whenever I have something like this in Minecraft, I immediately think of building a library or just something with a bunch of bookshelves. I'm not sure what it is about having a railing that you can look down through onto the floor below that makes me think of that, but it does. So I'm thinking we build some sort of library here, maybe randomly just placing some bookshelves along all of the walls next to the leaves. I think that could have a really cool effect and put our enchanting table and stuff like that on this floor. And then the top floor here is very much so unfinished. I'm not really sure what to do with any of this, so I'm just going to forget about it for now and head back down to the first floor here. Actually, I'm going to head to the outside and just take a look at the tree now we have some blocks placed down. I don't really know if it's going to ruin the effect or not, being able to see stuff through the leaves, so no, it doesn't. It virtually looks the same. You can see through it a little bit, which I actually think is kind of cool. I quite like that. So yeah, it doesn't ruin the effect. It looks absolutely fine. The only thing I'm not too fond of is the glowstone along the outside here. Might have to go along and replace them with some oak blocks maybe. And just fill in the rest of the oak leaves again. And how does that look? 10 times better. Yeah, 100%. Okay, I'm going to do that for the rest of the sides. Yep, that is a definite improvement. Very happy we've changed that. We can still see the glowstone from underneath here, but I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing, as it is really helping with our lighting problem. And I've had a bit more of a think on our windows here, and I've actually decided against them. I think in the end, it's just going to look a whole lot better if we just have our trunk here, obviously with the main entrance at the bottom, and just keep it looking like a tree, not a tree with a termite problem. Up the very long staircase we go, ready to do some interior work. And I'm actually going to keep going and skip this first floor for now, because I don't exactly know what I'm doing down there, but I do have a pretty good idea of what we're going to have on this middle floor, which, as I mentioned a minute ago, it's going to be a library slash enchanting area slash maybe a couple of other things if I can think of anything. I don't know if this looks okay or not. I think it's alright. I mean, it's better than just having like a long, even row of bookshelves like that. 100%. I think that's going to be okay. Yeah, let's do the other sides. Oh yeah, it looks much better with all 4 sides done, I think. Okay, now time to add in our enchanting table. And I probably could just like put it in one of the corners here or something like that. But I'm thinking on this side, the one where we don't have a railing, we do something a little bit fancy. Although I am building on even numbers, so that actually puts a real big spanner in the works. I didn't think about that. Well, still, on this side, we're going to do something a bit different with the enchanting setup. A double enchanting setup. I think that solves the issue. Added in a couple of magical bits and bobs here with some amethyst clusters and a couple of floating magenta stained glass panes just to look like some magic particles from the enchanting tables maybe. And we do still get 30 levels on both of these tables, so we don't have to worry about the bookshelves being blocked by the panes. There's too many of them for that. I've added in a couple of places to sit and read a book, so we've got a smaller section over here with just 2 chairs, a big table with 4 chairs and some nice flower pots, and then we have a nice cozy mat here in the cozy corner to do some reading if you want to do that. Just sit on the floor and chill out. So I've copied that over onto the other side here, but on the opposite side we actually have another portal. A bit of a weird spot for it, but I thought it fitted somewhat well, so I've kind of just made an enclosed off section here, covered it with bookshelves, and you can actually walk through and go to the nether if you want to. So yeah, there we go, 1 floor done. Now I'm gonna leave that one for now and actually come back down here and start to rack my brain as to what on earth we can do down here. Alright, I think I've got it. One of these sections is going to be for our storage room, of course. We can fit in a whole lot of chests there, I'm sure. The next one, as I previously mentioned, I believe, is going to be a super smelter. The third one over here is going to be some sort of food area. So maybe a crop farm or an animal farm or maybe both in one. Not sure how that's going to work yet, but there's the idea. And then the last one here, which is something that I think would be super helpful if this were to be my actual survival base, as they are just super duper overpowered and helpful. And that is some villagers to do some trading with. So I'm going to make some sort of trading hall here and put some villagers inside of it. So there we go, the bottom floor is now done. Of course we have our storage over here with plenty of chests, each of them having an individual item frame to label what's inside of them, and we've also got all of these helpful blocks that are always useful in survival. We then have our super smelter, which is technically 2 super smelters. I kind of wanted to keep this whole bottom floor even for the most part and build with symmetry, as you may have guessed, which is why we've done it this way instead of doing something that would be off center. So yeah, we got 2 super smelters all hooked up to the double chest system here. Very, very nice. We then have our farming area filled with all of our wheat crops, and these, by the way, are unhydrated because I do not have random tick speed on, because if I do, the tree will disappear. The leaves will just decay because I placed them down with world edit. That's what happens apparently. Found that out the hard way. We have some sugarcane as well, and then lastly the 4 main animal types just along the edge to breed up and kill as you need be. And yeah, Last but not least, we have all of our very noisy villagers who I believe have now picked up their workstations. Not that I'm going to be trading with them, but you get the idea here. You just go up to each individual level and run across to whichever villager trade you would like to make. So yeah, that is the bottom floor all done. Of course, we already have the middle floor done in our library. The last one to do is up here, and I think this is just very simply going to be my bedroom. So as you can see, with the sunlight beaming through the leaves, we have decided to leave most of the bedroom here open to the outside, meaning I haven't really covered up any of the leaves, like I haven't on the ceiling and I still haven't on the walls. So yeah, I actually quite like that for up here. I think it's nice on the top level. So this is the main bedroom. We have our bed and bed frame over here with some extra storage if need be. Got a nice little table with some items on top and a small wardrobe, which I should maybe put some armor on those armor stands, but hey ho. So this is the main bedroom. Then we have something else that is actually quite helpful in survival that I kind of forgot about, and that's brewing. I know we have these by the villagers that you could still use, I guess, but it'd be nice to keep, you know, all your nether wart in here and all your potion supplies and be able to actually make some if need be. Could always get rid of this rug on the floor and build a small netherwart farm if you really wanted to. And then just some more storage and a couple of ender chests for symmetry. I know you don't need two of these, but it would have looked weird otherwise. And then we have two other parts, one of which, in fact, both of which are not really needed in survival. They're more just sort of fun things. One of them is an aquarium over here, a couple of fish tanks, because why not? So we have those guys right there, and on the other side, something that I would say is needed because it's just awesome, but I guess it's not technically, and that is a giant map of your world. So yeah, I've mapped out the surrounding location here with, of course, our giant tree pretty much right in the center, near enough, at least on this axis. And then we have a ruined portal over there. We got a custom village just over on this way. It's actually a really nice world. I'm going to put the seed on the screen for you guys right now. So if you want to just have your survival world or something else in this seed, then that's what it is. Whether you build a giant custom tree or not, I guess that's up to you. But yeah, it is a really nice location. I definitely recommend it. So there we go, everybody. That is the giant mega tree all done. This is certainly something I've never made before in Minecraft, that is for sure, but I've had fun doing it, and I hope you guys have had fun watching. I do just have one last thing to say before we go here, and that is that this world is going to be available to download for all of my YouTube members and Twitch subscribers. So if you're already one of those people, you know where to go, over in the Discord server to the downloads channel. It should be there by the time you're watching this. And to all of you who aren't either of those people, and you would like to download this world and check it out for yourself in first person, then you can click the join button down below, which hopefully should be there. I think sometimes it's not there on certain devices, so it may require a Google search if it's not, but hopefully it's there. You can click the join button and find out some more information on how to become a channel member. So thank you for doing that, thank you for the support, and thank you for watching. I really hope you enjoyed, and I will see you in the next video. Bye for now.